are back with Breauxs and Brews. If you don't know by now, I am Obatiye Jonqeice, your host, John with my co-host,
Jayflair.
Tiffany Torree.
and we're still here with our special guest, Good Riddance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, man, we still here. We rolling. We having a good time, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. So, and now we're going to go ahead and get into a portion of our show which we call Tiffany Talks with
Tiffany Talks,
Miss
Tiffany
Tiffany
Talks,
Torree. What's going on, Tiffany?
Okay, first and foremost, I guess I'll do it in order by when it came out.
I'm going to say, can anybody hear you like that?
Oh,
Say it with your chest. Say it
come
with
on.
your chest.
Okay, so this dude named Les is LE Dollar Sign. Don't know if y'all have heard of him or not. He's really dope. He has an EP. Oh no, he has this EP called Lost in Japan, and it's this one song on there called Shibuya. Y'all should really listen to it. It's really dope.
I bet it is easy to get lost in Japan if you're not from there.
Exactly. You can get lost anywhere. You're not from there. But no, next up I got the homie Lou. He actually Lou the Banker.
Oh yeah, hey, shout
Shout
out,
out
Lou.
Alex. Shout out.
Hey, look, man, I've been bumping
Hey,
both.
no, West Del Alex?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's my dog, man.
He got this song called Space Therapy, which was
Yeah.
produced produced by the man Manny, and we all went to McKinley. So,
Shout out, Manny.
You know,
Shout out
alumni
McKinley,
always-
foes up, foes down.
Of course. We always
Shout out
making
Manny,
our.
shout out Al. Hey, look, because I text him, like, yeah, I was listening. Yeah, it's dope. It's a
I
dope
I
track.
really, really, really
And the
like
other
Space.
one, is it
Sun Tzu.
That's it.
Sun
Sun Tzu.
Tzu.
That's it.
My next one, I don't know how to really pronounce this girl's name, but it's in Jamsa. It's NJOMZA.
She has a
probably
song.
solid.
She has a song with Mac Miller called the Divine
The
Feminine.
Divine Femininity is
yeah.
really dope song. Rest in peace to that boy Mac Miller.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But no, she got this EP called Vacation, and literally from start to finish, it's just like on some vibey, like,
Just
you
a
know,
chill vibe.
yeah,
I
just
could
that
ju-
chill vibe.
So can I drink a brew or can I drink champagne? Can I drink vodka? What
It's
could I
actually
drink
more
today?
of like a vodka tonic type.
Uh-oh.
Like,
Oh,
you know,
that's
you
a
might
turn up
party.
vibe.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
might vibe, might turn up. It's really up to you. But I'm really feeling the Future and Juice World collab. I really, really, really like the song No Issue. But listen to the whole thing. The whole thing real dope. I've always appreciated the two different artists, especially like old new, and putting a spin on it. I've always been into that, like the Jay-Z Linkin Park. Like I've always loved stuff like that. And the last is Championships. Meek Mill just dropped. I'm really feeling Champions featuring Rick Ross and Jay-Z. Jay-Z
Whew.
ate that bitch.
He
Jesus.
really did. He really did.
Yes.
And
He
Rick
really
Ross
did.
talk about the same thing on every song, no matter what that
But
song
that-
is about. But it's,
But it
it's
works.
all fire.
Maybach.
It's all fire.
Always gonna
I
be
mean,
fire.
look, man, I appreciate Meek Mill, his talent, but I think I don't know. I might be biased. People will say I'm crazy, but I can't listen to like an East Coast rapper.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just like the way that they not.
They dialect.
Yeah, you know.
Who you listen to?
Tip.
Oh, you like
Pimp
that
C.
southern shit.
Hey, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm.
Downside.
I mean, hey, look, bro. I like Kendrick. He pretty dope.
Down south, west coast, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't like what about Dave East? You
I've
Daisy.
never.
What about
heard A
what about Nas?
whoa.
Nas?
Nasty
I like
Nas.
Daughters by Nas. I bumped that. I mean, it's like they're very intellectual.
Yeah.
But because if you look at the different regions, all rap is different. You know, you got your North, East Coast, and you got your, even in Florida, in a sense, I don't consider Florida to be the South. Shout out to Florida, but
I mean, yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
consider.
y'all too far east.
Yeah,
though.
man, y'all too far. Man. I got islands and shit, Key West. But yeah, I'm more so, I like Tip, I like Wayne, obviously, your Gates.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like East Coast rappers, like your Dave East. Is he an East Coast rapper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I never heard.
No, it's all good though.
I mean, like I never heard one song from
New
him.
York.
You should definitely check Dave East out, bro.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
don't even have that East Coast twang like that.
He really
like,
don't.
Okay, well, I'll
You know
check
what
him
I'm
out,
saying?
man. I mean,
Fabulous too, for that matter.
I like Fab.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fab always tells a story.
I like they featured songs.
You
Yeah.
made a face
I was
over
about to
there,
say,
man.
what was
Whoa.
that?
I like Fab. I just don't like the romanticizing about Fabulous because Fab like, bro, he's definitely like one of the more lyrical rappers, but he can also get very redundant. You know what I'm saying? And I
that's
just don't like redundant rappers. Like that's why Kendrick is held to such a high caliber because he came from, you know what I'm saying, like Section 80 all the way up to a purely conscious album like To Pimp a Butterfly. You know what I'm saying? But Fab, I feel like Fab been dripping ice and buying bags for his whole career. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But no slight to Fab. Like, Fab's a dog.
Right.
I got to give it to him.
Yeah, you got to give it to him. He's been in the game
For a while.
for a while now.
Yeah, Joel Santana
He's
has too.
remained
Yeah,
relevant.
Joel.
Joel is dope. You know, like on the Dipset. I think I'm more so. I started liking like East Coast rappers when they're like featured on something.
Yeah, that's see,
Like, if they
you're
feature
making
that's
a
the
point.
truth.
Yeah,
You're making a
yeah,
big point.
You know, I can't be like, look, I'm all over. No, I like Joel's on the song he did with Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Or like Fab, you know what have you. So, man.
All right,
But
that
yeah,
concludes it for Tiffany Talk.
Oh yeah, that's
You
it for
done?
Tiffany Talks. I did want wild card question.
Yes, let's hear the wild card question from Miss Torree. Yo, buckle up.
It's really not that off the
Hey,
wall.
look,
I
I'm
don't feel
scared
like
because she didn't have it. I mean, she didn't tell us beforehand,
I
so
didn't.
I'm
I
nervous.
didn't.
Are we all answering this question?
Yeah, it's,
I'm nervous.
it's just a whatever.
I
Let loose.
see
where your
when
mind's
women
at.
swing their hair like that, oh my god,
it's
it's just hold up.
Not answering first.
Oh my gosh. I just want to know how y'all feel. It's up to y'all. I had two. How y'all feel about either hall passes as far as do you get to dip out for that one person, for that two, do you and your partner talk
In a
about it?
relationship,
Right. And the second one was
monogamous relationship.
monogamous. Yeah. Yeah. But or talk about, oral sex. When was your first time? How do you think it correlates to, which is why I thought about it, how do y'all think it correlates to beards, facial hair? But yeah.
This is a wild.
Did y'all say this question from when I came? I feel targeted.
I didn't know about that one. Let me go ahead and get in and get out the way. I don't believe in hall passes. And
Why? Why?
I think I'm just too jealous.
Okay.
I'm very jealous, and I guess at some I can be. Yeah. I'm jealous. Just gonna say it like that. I'm a very jealous person, and as far as like the oral, been there, done that.
What was the question?
Oh,
Yeah, like,
no, it was just
wasn't
like
like
your
you-
thoughts on oral sex. That's it.
Yeah. Shout out to that. Yeah. Thumbs up.
Shout out to
Look,
that.
I'm not, hey, look, I know my mama watching, but hey, look, shout out to that. Yeah.
We all grown.
I love it.
I don't know about the whole hall pass thing. I mean, we might as well talk about being in an open relationship
Come on.
if you want to do that,
I only
Because I
ask
feel like
everybody
We also
knows
go
I'm
direct this to our
non-monogamous,
audience
so
Because I
as
feel
well.
like if you want one or two, you're gonna want,
Really?
Yeah,
Which
you
one?
know what I'm saying. So, because we're creatures of habit. So, and then I'm pretty sure they're probably not gonna want to spend just one date with that one person just that one time.
Right.
So we might as well be in a open situation. But oral, it's like you
great.
said, it's great.
Great, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
giving and receiving. I will say, it's a. I feel like
You know how
it's.
Drake say,
I
love a
feel
woman,
like-
you know who like to do it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a necessary part.
So, okay, so you feel like it's necessary.
I
when
feel
it
like
comes
it's
to-
necessary, and it's I mean, not on the first, if it's like a.
What you mean? Not,
No, I'm saying like not with everybody. You know what I'm
First
saying?
date?
No, not on the not even on the first date.
Oh.
So
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
think it should happen on the first date?
I mean, it can.
That's another question. How y'all
but-
feel about sex on the first date? Y'all looking at it?
You don't really know that person.
No,
like that,
I'm looking
you know?
at you much better.
Same.
I'm looking at you much better.
Same.
Sorry, I didn't
mean
mean
when you
No,
say
man.
you're looking
chime
at
into
them?
your question. I'm sorry.
No, what do you mean by you look at them like in a better light?
Well, I mean, look, and baby, I love you. Look,
Yeah, this is obviously going, for those who are
Yeah,
in
of
relationships we're talking about before your
course.
significant other or during with your significant other. But yeah.
right. I say for me, when I say better, I mean like for me, like sex is like such a how can I say monotonous act. I feel
Yeah.
like it's much easier to have sex with somebody than to actually talk about, you know what I'm saying, what your actual feelings are about this person.
Yeah.
If all we can do is meet up and have sex, that's just the easiest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you do after that sex is what's important. For me, breaking down that barrier of, you are sexually attracted to me, I'm sexually attracted to you. I feel like if you went into this with the intention of, I'm not going to be with this person, after you have sex, you're not going to be with this person. If you went into it with, I'm going to really try to see what's up, and it just so happened to, go down that way, you're not going to look at it and be like, oh, man, she gave it up. No. It's all
really
about,
think like that.
it's where I feel like it's all about how you see yourself. Do you see your sex as something that, is a defining factor of who you are, or do you see it as something that can be enjoyable between two people? Because that's just the way I see it. As far as oral sex goes, though, and I'm glad you're talking about this because I want to lay it on the table.
Come on.
For a lot of men who have this problem, I just want to, be an advocate for. It took me a while. It took me a while.
Are you serious?
Oh, definitely. And people get that misconception about me.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It took me a while to,
Perform, man.
to
do it at
succumb
your best
because I
ability.
never wanted to look like I didn't know what I was doing, and I never wanted a woman to like say, "Oh, just get up, just
Yeah.
you meant to get up, don't bite me," like you know what I'm saying. But also,
Don't bite me,
also, no, it happens, my guy. Look, but also it's like for a man, for you to say like it's necessary, men don't like expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? In a relationship, you should be able to talk about certain things. And for, not speaking on my current relationship, but in past relationships that I had, it was a HE double hockey. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? It was high level say, you can eat that head, but no, you can. That was my mentality. As a young man.
Was it because you were
It was
inexperienced?
because I was what word am I looking for? I was
Green.
childish. No, not childish, but
Childish.
I wasn't confident. I wasn't confident. You know what I'm saying?
Confidence.
I
That's
lack
understandable.
confidence in that aspect of
That's
sex. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather you be lacking confidence in it than for you to be childish about it, like you said. Like,
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
wrong?
at the end of the day, a lot of women are just, you know what I'm saying, do it and then not expect it. And that's because we live in a society that, forces women to do
Please
more
them,
than,
please
you know what I'm
men,
saying?
please
And that's why black men need to catch up. You know what I'm saying? In my
Hey,
sense.
look,
And-
I done caught up.
Nah, I feel you.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Y'all heard me
You-
say this before, but I read a recent study
Come on, recent study.
that 90% of women, they don't climax from penetration. It mostly comes from oral. So
So
Right.
Because
if
it's
you
more of
want
a
your
mental
guys,
thing.
keep that in mind.
If you want your woman,
If you wanna please
taking
your woman.
a seizure,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you need to go ahead and do
Yeah.
that first.
And you asked something about the beard thing.
Oh yeah, I just was
what-
wondering, does like oral sex and like how the beard, the correlation, is it true?
We like to say that, but
Yeah.
there's literally no correlation.
For
Like
sure.
we like to
sounds-
say
it
that.
sounds nice.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds nice, but
Sounds
in the act of it, it's very advantageous
Okay.
to have a beard. You know what I'm saying? Because that the vibration of, you know what I'm saying, there's something coarse coming behind something soft.
Soft, yeah.
It works.
For sure.
It works.
For sure.
What's your take on it?
Boy, y'all some freaks.
Not even.
I'm not.
I
That's
mean,
why I wanted to go ahead and put it
Come
on
on.
notice that I just got here.
Come on, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I feel like I'm not really down to teach. I'm down to teach you about me specifically, but I don't have time to teach you the basics.
And see, that's what a lot of men are afraid of. You know
But
what I'm saying? And
I'm
that's
saying
why,
the basics and
Hey,
me
Kyle, we see you over there,
specifically,
bro.
That's two different things. I feel like, but I feel where you're coming from because you literally just didn't know. Nobody took the time to
right.
groom you in that aspect. I feel like oral sex is necessary. You know, that's just how I feel about it. I would rather you come to me and tell me that there's a lack of confidence than for you to just be like, I mean, you can do you, but I ain't gonna do me. Like,
And then my thing was like, I don't expect you to. Like I don't
Yeah.
like if I'm
because
not.
I know I'm not giving
I'm
you
not
going to
do this. But I mean, if that's how you feel and you want to, by all means, my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but
I
you
mean,
know.
I do it to guys,
Mhm.
to girls too. Just out of that's just what I like to do. Like that's something that would, get me to that point.
Mhm.
It doesn't even really have to do with like, give it to me or I've never been that type of girl.
Yeah,
like
that's
if I
childish.
do this,
I think that's like all
That's what I'm saying, like,
a
that's
lot of
real
like these
childish.
female rap artists who coming out like portraying all of that. That's lame.
like, I,
Insert Dej Love.
I ain't gonna say nobody names.
But yeah, I think
I'm
that's-
mad at her.
I don't
That's
know.
why.
That's just been a consistent thing for me. I just think that's real childish. That's really no other way to put it. Like, for if you know what I mean, if it's a situation where a guy doesn't want to return, like, or even there's a lot of pillow princesses out there too. So like, there's a lot of women who.
I think with me, you know, when it comes down to that, like, obviously, you know, it's a given, you know, go thing. I think if I don't know you that well,
Yeah,
I'm not willing to, and vice versa. It's like you say, it's no expectations. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if it happens, it happens.
It
you
happens.
Know what I'm saying? But it's more so like.
And I'm all in it if
I mean,
you know,
but
Right.
then,
you have
then
it.
it also
Out to do
depends
that.
on,
Yeah.
you know, and then it also depends on. It's like if you meet a chick at the club, y'all go in the bathroom, or y'all just, you know, link up afterwards. I'm not expecting you to do none of that.
Right.
It's more so like a moment thing, you know.
Right.
I'm drinking, you drunk, or whatever, and we won't do it. Now, if it happened, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
You loyal. You beautiful. I appreciate that.
Hey, look, I appreciate you, but return thing, probably not. But because I don't know how you do your hygiene, that's and so
Well,
forth.
can I pose a question to
What's
you?
up?
Just because you know you so like, I appreciate this
Yeah.
conversation. So like, let's talk about the act of oral sex for
Okay.
men and women, right? So with a woman performing oral sex on a man, that skill, you know what I'm saying, like that act or that skill, would you say is, and I'm not trying to
inherited or taught. Is that what you're asking?
well, even innate, like the
say-
just you,
yeah, you say
it's
it's
your very first
inherited?
time. It's your
No.
very first time, right?
Yeah.
For a woman, you know what I'm saying, there's not too many moving parts
That's true.
on
That's true.
on me. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
true.
for a man, it's like a lot of men don't even understand the anatomy of a vagina. But like,
Tell me about it.
so it's so in that way, in thinking about that, when you say like, I don't have time to teach in the basics, nobody had the time to teach in the basics. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of
Trial
men
and
who
error.
go, that's what I'm saying. And a lot of men don't want to be the error.
Right.
Because if you the error, you the error in that moment, you the error
Error
in
of
the group
everything.
message, you the error on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just asking, do you think it's a easier thing, you know what I'm saying, to perform on a man than a woman is what I'm essentially
that's-
asking.
That's a very good
Oh, yeah, that's a good
question.
question.
That's a very
Yeah.
good question, especially
Hey,
since.
Kyle, Kyle,
Oh, I'm
Kyle,
sorry.
well, what you thinking, bro? Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, man, shout out to Tunnel Vision. Follow him on Instagram.
Hey, yo,
What's
Tunnel
your other
Vision,
other social media platforms?
Blessed factors.
Okay. Dope, man. Hey,
Entrepreneurs
shout
is
out,
good.
man. Entrepreneurs, man. That's definitely what we pushing. Definitely. So, Tiffany.
So to answer your question, yes, I'm not gonna say that the act itself is easier than one. I feel like men are easier to please than women are because y'all are more physical. Most are more physical. I'm not even gonna put y'all in the umbrella like that because I've definitely had experiences
I think
where
men are hard,
it was
you know, as soon as they get to the house.
Exactly. Like some men are just easier to please than some women. Now I've had a situation where a guy was more particular about how he wanted things done, and that's just me. And that goes back to why I say I don't have time. I don't have time for closed-mindedness. I don't have time for you're not willing. You know what I mean? You're not willing to hear constructive criticism. That's what I don't have time for. If you want to learn me, cool. That's more fun. But if you're the type to be like stuck in your ways or nah, miss me with that, because if that doesn't please me, I can't help that it don't please me, you know, especially if you're not willing to learn.
That's legit.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel like
legit.
it's a lot of dudes out there that think they really
Preach on
doing
me.
a good job.
But
Right.
that goes
But I
back to
feel
the
like-
women too.
Yeah.
You
But
Man,
since-
tell
you
a man
hooping
something,
and
man.
hollering.
Don't,
Yeah,
man,
go
don't
ahead,
have
tell
me
him.
'Cause you gonna
thinking I'm
have him
doing
looking
this and that,
stupid.
and
Yeah.
it's something else.
yeah.
No, but I can appreciate a woman who will be like, this is not it.
Nah,
Like,
this ain't it, Chief.
This ain't the movement.
This ain't the way.
This ain't the movement. You need to go back to the drawing board, try something different, because it really does work. Like I could be teaching you stuff that like you will hold on.
to forever. Yeah,
Exactly,
of course.
like key stuff. And that's really why it's like, what is there to teach?
Can I? You need me to give you a list of questions?
No. I mean, I'm just
Because there's a
saying, like,
lot to teach.
But that just goes back to men being like kind of easier to please.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do too much.
Like you could look at it and it's, oh, gee. You know what I'm
True that.
saying?
You know what
Like,
I mean? Like, you don't really have to do too much. But with women, I feel like it's more of a mental game.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is. I mean,
let
it's a
me
connection.
Wine, you know what I mean? I'm starting from the moment, we link up until it gets to that point. Like, that's a big thing, I feel like, to really, wind down and really have it to where, like, this was on my mind all day. I've been putting things in place to where you have a good time tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it works.
But
Hey,
yeah.
look. Hey, look. I went to a lighter note, and more PG. If some would say, how do we feel about disciplined children physically? Like, if you were to have a child.
Well,
I feel like we
you
should
got a
answer
kid,
secondly.
you got a
I feel like
kid.
we should answer last in that sense.
No,
Let me let y'all go.
I was about to say,
Okay.
'cause I ain't.
All right.
I mean, in the future, right?
Like in the
I mean,
future.
when you guys have a kid,
I feel like-
do you believe whooping it behind with a belt?
That's kind of tough,
It's
because
you,
On your
you
knees in
asking,
the corner,
You asking
what
this? Is that the best kind of this?
No.
But that's
I'm
saying, how
asking,
do you feel about
do
it?
you
Do
believe it?
Yeah.
it didn't work for me.
I mean, I believe in it to a certain extent, but it shouldn't just be that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like
agreed.
after that, there should be some type of explanation as to why it got to this.
A lot of people get that during, like that whole time.
This is
Nah, but are you
not
really
to
listening at that?
Hell
Are you
no.
really
Of course
listening to
not,
what's
of
going
course
on?
You
not.
definitely hit them words.
These are just
So,
jokes. I'm just.
Yeah.
You definitely hit that word.
So yeah, I feel like there should be some type of verbal reasoning behind the physical, discipline.
Oh, so-
It shouldn't just be left at physical, because I feel like if it's just physical discipline, then the child could be like, okay, I got a whooping for this. I ain't gonna get caught next time. I feel like if there's some type of verbal accountability behind it, they were like, okay, I got a whooping. This is why I got a whooping.
Right.
I see
Oh, yeah,
why
it's a
mama
two-way
did
street.
that. I'm tripping. My bad. I ain't gonna do that no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there should be more than just physical discipline. So yes, I agree with it to a certain extent.
I feel like you should talk to your kids before you put your hands on them. I feel like it should be the opposite of what he said. I feel like
Vice versa.
if I talk to you and I've talked to you and I've talked to you and I've talked to you, at some point it's like you sped a
Yeah,
rod,
man.
you spoiled a
All that
child.
talking get
You know what
old.
I mean? I feel like had the people who were put in place to discipline me, had they would have talked to me first, it would have been a simple like nip in the bud situation. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna sit here and say that like because because I got whooped, I was traumatized. No, it made me look at people different. It didn't necessarily solve the problem. So it's like, what are we really doing this for? You know what I mean? Especially if it could have been handled, you know what I mean, in a different way. If it's something minute and it could have been handled a different way, I guess that was the moments where it's like, I don't really want to talk to you right after. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not even a week after. You know what I mean? Because I just felt that strongly about it. Like, I feel like I feel like this world is all about options, It really is. But at the same time, I feel like the whoopings that I got made me the person that I am.
Yeah.
So,
Hey.
Man, when my mama used to whip me, about 10 minutes later, she'd be like, "You hungry?"
exactly.
And that kind of like
never,
that kind of like misconstrued the whole reason why she whipped.
because
me.
it's like, you feel bad. Why did you do it in the first place?
You know what I'm saying? So I was
Yeah.
like, why did you even whip me if you know what I'm saying?
Right,
I
right,
never,
right.
I was always the one to be like real standoffish. Like, don't come talk to me right after.
Yeah.
Like, that, because
Yeah,
it just
especially
didn't
with
work.
girls, man.
Tough.
Yeah, man. I'm
Tough.
Hey, look, man. I'm pro whoopings.
That boy say pro.
And the reason being because it's a lot of kids, as we know, that you see around, or you might overhear on aisle 8, that child cutting up on aisle 7. You know what happened? Man, that child need to get his or her butt whipped, right? We don't know the background or why that kid acting out or what have you, but you as a parent, if you're in at home, you know what's happening. My whole thing is, like I say, I believe in whoopings. I ain't gonna get into too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I got a girl, and she gon' oh my God, dude. Oh man, it eats you up. Like, I get tired. Like, I hate being a broken record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But that's when it's
man.
like, try what you can do first, man. Try what you can
Yeah.
do first
Oh,
before
yeah, I
it
don't
gets to that
just-
point.
just-
But like
just
you
go-
said, you sound like a broken record.
Yeah.
I can't fault my mama for. You can
Yeah.
only tell me
Hey,
so
man,
many
I know
times. I
personally,
didn't
man.
have,
Hey, look, man, I used to get my
that father figure all the time. So it's like, do what you gotta
Boy,
do.
anything.
Boy,
But
I
be
used
okay
to
with the
get
consequences. as well.
whoopings. I used to get beaten.
Man, my mama
But I'm
chased
not
my brothers
knocking
around the
I'm not-
carport with a
Yeah,
samurai
me too.
sword. One
Yeah, man,
time.
I'm not knocking it, man. You know what I'm saying? I used to catch
What a
whoopings and I
samurai
appreciate
sword.
it.
Well,
Dog.
that's a test to my mom. Like my mama
Right.
she's
up
kind of
anything.
like I'm one of 13, so that's the first thing. So she got 13 kids, so she
Oh, yeah. So
don't
she-
have
she-
a
she
lot
had
of
the
time
patience. Yeah.
to talk.
Yeah.
But again, what your question is, what your question is like, do you believe in whoopings? Here's my thing, and again, I hate to be like. White people will call me racist, but I know y'all understand me as a black
Right.
person,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So as a black man, I feel like my job to raise my kids is to, understand that you live in a code, you know what I'm saying? A code that's very unwritten. And it's so important for you to follow instruction that sometimes you're going to have to feel me
Yeah.
on that instruction because a police officer will not, you know what I'm saying?
He not gonna take
He's not
that
gonna
time.
he's not gonna touch you first before he, you know what I'm saying, apprehends you or, you know what I'm saying, any type of lethal force to come behind that. Now, when it comes to like talking, I feel like that is something that our parents missed, and I'm not a lenient person on that. I get on my mom and dad now about them, being able to talk more because one, you don't understand your anger. You know what I'm saying? You as an adult don't understand your anger, and then you want
so
a
much
kid
more, yeah.
to understand what you don't understand. And so me working in the school, I see so many kids that's on medicine now because that's the big pharma is like getting so many dollars off kids because you
Right.
get on that medicine, you get a check, and now you have certain disorders or certain disabilities. There's a certain thing
That will
called
excuse it away.
Right. There's a certain thing called ODD. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Obsessive defiance disorder. And that was built off of Adderall. You know what I'm saying? So you get kids to be on Adderall for so long that once they come off, there is no, discernment of this is my authority figure, this is not. It's just I'm off of this medicine, so now whatever decisions I make, whatever decision that comes here, I'm going to make it. And that is something that, our generation, our wave needs to be more proactive about. Like you said, you need to talk to kids more. Your first option shouldn't be a whooping.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it ain't an option because
Right.
it's very important for you to follow my instruction. It's very
It
important
is,
for you
it
to
is.
follow instruction, period.
Right.
But more so, it's more important to me that you live as a child, that you understand that every time you do something wrong, you have a second chance. You have a chance behind it. You have a way to, even as a grown child, you mess up, you have a way to come to me and do it again. You know what I'm saying? I might have a certain stipulations behind it, but it should always be, you know what I'm saying, there's another way. There's another chance for you. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Kyle, man, how you feel about Kyle, Christina, our audience? Shout out to
Yeah.
our audience, man. Who made it in. Do y'all believe in physically disciplining a child? Okay. Okay. And we got two yays. What's y'all, reasoning behind that?
I mean, I have a very dominant father who he was the man of the household, and he was the person that did the discipline, and I respect him as a person. And I respect my mother who also was, I think you need to have a balance. You can't have two people who are exactly the same.
True
Yeah.
that.
I
True
don't
that.
have children, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like whoever my husband is, he probably most likely will be the dominant when it comes to discipline, and then I will be the person that does more talking. I don't think it works if you have only talking. I don't think it works if you have only physical. I think you have to have balance.
Hey, man, great point. You got to balance. You got to have a balance. Hey, man, got a cool cat sitting back there, man. Oh, man, so let's get into. I almost forgot, man. I know how it go with me. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Oh, yes, sir. Hey, man, come on in, man. Hey, look, I'll give up my mic, man.
I'm dead.
Come on in, sir. We got to make sure we hear
That
you,
man
man.
say no, leave that man alone.
Oh, okay, I got you. I
That
got
was a
you,
really
Tom.
good question, though.
I
But,
hear what he
but
said.
what was the But what was the question?
Oh, he just asked how we feel about the culture, about, have we progressed, have we not?
The culture of like Baton Rouge.
Black people. Black
Oh,
people.
okay.
Man, I think we're more woke, man. I think we're getting to that point where we're believing in ourselves. We still got haters. That's just that's upbringing.
Yeah.
You still got haters, man. Like, you got, it's so crazy how we're so far removed from the slave, fields and the plantations, but that same mindset, it still exists to this day. Where it's a crab in the bucket mentality. The house Negro didn't want you to escape because he was living a life, what have you. So when you talk that talk, people kind of bash you. People want to, leave, from around you, what have you. So I think the culture, especially in the black community, I think we're grasping. I think we're getting it
Yeah.
now. I think we're getting it. So I do see us moving in a positive direction. I do see us, progressing, as a people because we're pushing entrepreneurship. We're pushing
Right.
our own businesses. We're getting back. There is going to be a Black Town USA.
You think so?
I really think so. You know what I'm saying? All you need is the money to do it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to depend on the government to give you a grant, give you a loan. You just need the money to do it. So to all of our black billionaires, all of our black millionaires, our black 100,000aires, give back into your community to do something that you talk about, but ain't nobody doing it. I'm not trying to bash any politicians. Everybody get in the office to say one thing, but don't do it.
Right.
Okay? How Dr. Umar Johnson said, like I always bring up the 4 essential things you need to establish a community, a hospital, a school, a bank, a grocery store.
That's it.
Those are the 4 essential things that you need to establish your own community. So everybody talk about your own, but those who have the ability to do so ain't doing it. So let me get my check.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's gonna be Obatiye USA.
Obatiye USA.
What have you.
That sounds like a cool place to live on.
Right.
That's why I also commend the Nation of Islam and what they were doing, but they kind of get bashed. Elijah Muhammad got bashed for it because he tried to work out an agreement with the KKK. In a way, more so.
But
to
it was like leave just this part.
give
alone.
us like 400 acres. Leave
Leave
us
us
alone.
alone. Y'all do y'all.
Give us 400 acres, and we, you know what I'm saying, and we'll try to create and establish a community for ourselves. So I do see the culture of our people moving, entrepreneurship pushing, and that's the direction that I feel we're going in. I don't think we're going back. I think we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Because we got more
Same.
knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So many opportunities for us to do it.
Same
This is,
thing.
One way.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're definitely becoming more woke. More people are becoming more conscious, more pro-black, and they're becoming aware of the systems and the structures that are put in place that essentially oppress us as a people. And we're also working towards dismantling those systems and structures that are put in place. So we're also becoming more aware and conscious of things in terms of like health, in terms of finances, in terms of building a legacy, and we're making strides to erase, the things that have been put in place. So I feel like as a culture, we're definitely progressing forward. We just need to stick with it, man, and don't just get discouraged with the time that it's going to take to get there. So, because it's definitely going to take some time to get there. So,
it's not always about money,
Yeah, it's not always about money.
Man, it's really just feet on the ground and
Exactly.
So I just want to clear it up. It's not
Exactly.
about bread.
Yeah,
It's not always about
and even here in Baton Rouge, we got a lot of people, a lot of businesses that are like growing to assist in dismantling those structures.
Absolutely.
And dismantling even the mindset
Yeah.
that we've been accustomed to
If people
believing
like
in.
us, if
So
people like us don't stand up, then who will?
right,
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody, my G.
A lot of again, my thing starts at home. I feel like at home has gotten a lot better. It's more of it's not so much stay in the child's place. It's let me listen to them. You know what I mean? Because out the mouth of babes. But it seems like we hadn't been on that tip for a long time. But I finally feel like my kids are not going to grow up in the same situations. Like I feel like they just won't. And that alone is a testament to how the culture has changed. I feel like more things that we might see as small have been put on Front Street about how that doesn't work. Like, like how we had like a rape culture. You know what I mean? Making little jokes but we're starting to see that like just those little things can make up for, bigger things later on down the line. I just feel like it starts with the small stuff to work our way up to the bigger issues.
Absolutely.
I think for me, Man, did y'all know that like when y'all think of the top 1%, like what do you think the top 1% makes? To be in the top 1%, what do you think you have to make?
Billion.
plus.
Billion. Okay, to be
Billion.
in the top 1%, you have to make over $480,000 annually.
That's sad.
Right?
That's
So
sad.
so with me saying that, when you tell somebody, right, to be a 1%er, you have to make $500,000 annually. That's an easier
Yeah.
task mindfully
Yeah.
to achieve, so you can feel that you can achieve something like that.
Right.
I say that to say that I think the culture is moving in a great way financially, because the literacy that we didn't have, the access to certain think Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying, the
yeah.
cryptocurrency, the things that we were never accustomed to as black people, being able to be in that conversation, we can stand in those conversations now. You know what I'm saying? As far as culturally though, I think we are progressing, but we're also in a struggle, and that struggle will take time, because in a generational aspect, and I hope you don't mind that I'm not looking at you because I can't turn.
right.
In a generational struggle between people who hold on to servitude as opposed to entrepreneurs, because you had a period in the late 20s, the early 30s, 40s, and 50s where black people made their own, created their own, bought their own, sold their own. And in that time, the government came in and basically took all of that, which made a wave of people who were discouraged about, if I start this, if I do this, that's going to be taken, right? And those people were born in your late 60s, your 70s, 80s, 90s, right? And so now you get to people like us who are having babies now, and now we know for a fact that it's not all about the money that I make now. It's about the assets that I can leave behind to make sure that when my kid starts, he starts with
Generational
something.
wealth.
He or she starts with something.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
'cause that's
saying?
the biggest thing. It's like with
That's why white
our
people win,
counterparts,
because
yeah.
they start
generational.
with generational wealth, and
Yep.
a lot of that generational wealth came off the back of
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not about to get into that because it's a
That's
whole other
nother
episode.
conversation.
Right.
But culturally speaking, bro, I think as far as like us financially, we're winning. Artistically, we're dominating.
Yeah, we've been dominating.
We're
everyone.
dominating, and now we're getting recognized for it. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's also a struggle. And again, it's between generational gaps that make success a little bit harder to grasp, because
Yep.
we talking about creating a new system when people behind us want us to change an old system. We don't need that old system. That old system will never work for us. So I'm telling you right now, I don't have to have a deal to make it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to, I don't have to burn 1,000 CDs and pass them out for my music to get out there.
Right.
It's easier avenues, but for old heads, you know what I'm saying, who believe in the hand-to-hand, who believe in, hip-hop is supposed to be this way, that's another struggle that we have. And I feel like we are advancing as a culture because now we're identifying those struggles. It's not hush-hush. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the biggest
we
thing.
we got
calling
away
out.
with that hush-hush shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like we had as a culture, like we winning. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, shout out to you.
That was a
Hey
fire
man,
question.
shout out to
Great
Tunnel
question.
Vision, man. Shout out.
Making a lot of moves.
Hey,
Sound
making a
like.
lot of moves, man.
Come
We
on.
definitely glad to have you guys here tuned in with our live audience. Man, E for the first time.
Yes, my dog commented.
Shout out to
y'all-
E, man. That's
something.
our guy, man. Our artistic director, E, man. We appreciate you, sir. And it's been a great show.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, does anybody have any more?
Questions to
Questions?
Any
ask.
more questions? Any feedback? Anyone want to speak on anything?
Did y'all hear about the thing that happened in Breauxs? That's cool.
No.
Oh, you talking about St. Thomas More? I mean, not St. Thomas More, Landry.
What happened?
Yes. So you went to UL.
I was about to say,
right?
yeah, I went
So
to UL.
what's the school? Is the school St. Landry?
TL Landry.
Oh yeah, TM Landry. It's
Okay.
TM Landry. You know how y'all seen that video of the student who got accepted into Harvard, and he was like
Yeah.
looking at the presentation and he like jumped back. Ah!
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So those schools and those acceptances were made because TM Landry was basically sending out fraudulent applications, and they would make up stories about these kids
To
that
make
just
it to where-
weren't true, so they would get accepted. Because
That
you
sucks.
get money based off of the amount of colleges and the college, you know what I'm saying, that you get your kids accepted into. And so
man, I
now
was rooting for
all
that
of the
school.
Me too.
right.
Right.
So now
sucks.
most of those applications have been, you know what I'm saying, withdrawn, or they, you know what I'm saying, have come with like consequences that the kids didn't ask for. The kids didn't doctor them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The schools did. And so even them setting up certain sob stories with black kids that never happened, you know, and people would be like, oh, that's the reason why they got in. And it might be essentially because, you know, we also understand this culture. We also understand that colleges work on a quota system.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so T.M. Landry was just, you know, they got ousted because, you know, somebody realized that these, you know, stories weren't real.
To myself, I was like, man, y'all got all these kids getting
Right,
Ivy League offers.
right.
I'm like,
I thought it was
I'm
just
like, boy, y'all
me,
teaching.
man. That sucks.
Yeah, man, and that's really sad to hear, man. I ain't know.
But then it's like,
Yeah, because it's like, you know,
I'm
they
looking
always
at the
on, like,
school
on top of
stupid,
it,
not
like,
even T.M. Landry. I'm looking at Harvard stupid. Like, why y'all only accepting kids that got a sob story? Like,
Well, you got to accept, like, it's a whole, like,
no, I
it's
know.
a
I
whole,
know how the Harvard process works. Is you write
a letter.
Yeah, you write a
want
letter.
somebody to feel
Well, I'm
some
not
type
even
of
talking
way.
about. I'm just talking about the
No.
quota and their socioeconomic status that goes with
Oh, yeah.
applicants. You know what I'm saying? So like, I watch a lot of stuff on Netflix. This Asian dude, like, he be talking about how Asians just need to get their life together, thinking that they the minority, whatever. But he talks about like how when it comes to socioeconomic issues, that on the scale of the quota is about 22%. So 22% of students who are accepted into Ivy League schools, these Harvards, these Princetons, Browns, your socioeconomic status is about 22% of your acceptance, you know, your acceptance status.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for people who make more money, you know, we might not need to get a
Exactly.
lot of these people. You know what I'm saying? We got to, you
Get
know,
more
look
of
at
the-
where you came from. And so a paragraph or an essay about how poor I am and what I
Exactly.
go through is a big deal in, you know, getting accepted into
It is.
said universities.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy. That's crazy.
But shout out to HBCUs for thriving.
Let's go.
Shout out to the HBCUs.
We need more of
definitely.
them alumni to get back to their school.
Please do,
we don't
man.
wanna see
Because the
that
alumni is what keeps a school running. The alumni is what keeps the
Right.
lights on. It's
I.E. McKinley.
man, it's not the.
And we're all McKinley
Right,
graduates.
right.
Shout out to Struma High School.
Hey, look, he by himself.
Plugging
from
out.
that
It's
one.
back open? Let me stop.
Oh, we smashed McKinley this year, bro. Y'all need to get y'all athletics together.
we
Hey
just-
man, we ain't worried about no
Yeah.
athletics, man. We teaching what we need to know.
Right, I
You
feel
know what I'm
that.
saying? Not knocking on
For
any other
EBR
school, but yeah, man.
Labs.
Shout out to to Struma. Shout out to all our schools.
Shout
and our
out to
communities.
the big blue though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to the
always,
Big
man.
Hey,
Shout
I
out to
love
Big Blue.
McKinley.
And
I
I
love
love
McKinley
McKinley.
for
Shout out
his
to McKinley, man. We
historical
love it. We gotta get
context.
some,
For sure.
we gotta get a teacher or some on the show.
Dude, you need to, bro. They got buku teachers that just love to get on here and talk about their experience,
Yeah.
like, cause they can't talk about it in school. Like, you can't, like,
Most definitely.
you know.
Well,
Hey, but man,
whenever you start, come back on. You know.
You teaching, bro?
Yeah.
Soon.
That's what I'm talking about,
Coming soon,
bro.
bro.
In Baton Rouge, or you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
get back
about.
to your
in the
community.
process, you got to,
Yeah,
man. It starts
definitely.
here, man. You know, we can change because we know what we've been through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We know what we need. So
Community
I think it-
teaching
I think
is
it's like
important.
minds like us that,
So
you know,
it's
to get it
community
done.
policing.
So is community policing.
Oh, absolutely.
You need to be from the community that you serve.
That's why it's so crazy because I was just speaking with someone. I was thinking about joining like the BRPD or the fire department, just strictly off of that. Anyway, we don't need no responses on that. But nah. But man, shout out to the guys in uniform. Shout out to the the blue. Shout out BRPD, the sheriffs, constables, everyone else. Because it takes a
By
task to
yourself.
do it. It's all good. I know some good ones.
I know some good ones too. And
We just had one.
yeah,
on
we
the
just
show.
had one on the
Yeah,
show.
we know good humans. I don't know
about
any
to
good
say.
police officers, but I know good humans. You know what I'm saying? That's just my sentiment. I don't
I mean,
believe
like I used to
in
live, in an apartment complex where my neighbors were cops.
yeah.
I saw them in uniform, out of uniform, how they rock and how they roll. Obviously, we know what we see.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But then was like I saw an incident where it was like
That was wrong.
this cop
Yeah.
probably would have shot him, or that cop probably. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, you know what, man? I commend you for that because you handled
For
that
not
situation in a
killing
better
somebody.
way.
Right.
You know what
But
I'm saying? So it's not always about killing them. You ain't rough the man up. You was able to deal with what had happened.
Yeah.
Some people run off at the mouth and the cop gets so triggered by that. That's
Right.
why they need more black officers in the city, in our communities. Because you can't tell me that you grew up in Geismar or you grew up in.
And you trying to police Zion City.
It's not gonna
you
work.
don't even
Sorry.
know Zion City
No,
like that.
exactly.
Have this
Preconceived
Right.
notion
You know
of
what I'm saying?
what
How
it
you always
is.
speak,
Yeah.
you always have this preconceived notion of a black person.
That's so true.
he's gonna do this, so let me be extra
Right.
careful.
Yeah,
But
sure.
that's
So
definitely gonna be a topic for the next show to come, man. But
Definitely.
it's been a great show, man. I definitely appreciate you guys for being here. We appreciate you, E, for your day.
E.
Hey, look, man, we know you had a
Shout out to
busy day,
socials,
man.
bro.
We definitely appreciate it, man. We shout out to our audience who is here.
E.
Shout out to y'all,
Yo,
man, who been shouting
we
us
appreciate
out.
y'all. We really do.
Shout out to Miss Chris, our teacher who trying to move away. Shout out, guys. We'll not move away, but move a wave. That's what I meant to say.
Oh,
Yeah, it's about that time.
Shout out my boy Justin over there.
Hey, shout out
Real
Justin,
estate
man.
broker
We
over
appreciate-
there.
Hey, that man, he
And
trying-
hey,
investor
real estate
over
is
there.
big. Real
Hey,
estate
Shout
is
out
big,
to my
man.
bro Chris for coming through. I really
Hey,
appreciate
definitely
it.
shout out to Chris, man. Also McKinley alum, man.
Yep.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. As I always say and mention,
Correct.
this show would not be what it is without you guys. So let's continue to strive and be great. And anyone who's in a similar situation or you're just looking for the next step, just be great. Just take a step and step out on it. Believe in something. I saw a mic at the pawn shop, and I was like, well, let me just buy a mic and get my guy on. And then it went from that to the meeting at the park, our
Yep.
very first
That's
audio
crazy.
recording, to now we're in the 9th episode, and
God
we got
is
an
good,
audience,
bro.
man.
God is good.
Man, all the time. Praise to the Most High. So thank you guys.
But
And,
now, before we shut down, Ben, go ahead and shout out to the socials, man.
oh yeah,
Yo,
sorry.
hey, so you know what I'm saying? It's GOOD Riddens with the Z. Shout out Baton Rouge, we in the building. You can follow me on social media at Good Riddens. On Instagram, Facebook, I'm Benjamin Washington, very much more professional on Facebook. And if you, as you should be, and you should follow my business. Blacksmith Poetry LLC. You can find us on Instagram at Blacksmith Poetry. You can find us on Facebook at Blacksmith. You can also find us on Twitter at Blacksmith Poets with an S. And we want to really thank y'all for inviting me on the show and being able to represent Blacksmith in a very, very good light.
Come back
What you
anytime.
guys have here is amazing.
Thank
The
you.
things that you talk about, the openness of the conversation is just beautiful. I'm inspired. I'm pretty sure people who watch this are going to be inspired. And I talked about things that I normally wouldn't talk about.
That's
You know what I'm
awesome.
saying? So
That's what we
that's
try to
just
get
great,
you out
man.
your comfort zone, bro.
Definitely,
Shout out
definitely.
Tiffany Torree with the wild card.
I know it.
question.
Oh, I know. Baby, I love you.
But man, we definitely appreciate you stopping through. And for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure you do. Me and Ben, man, went to middle school together, man.
Westdale,
Man, it's a
the pride.
Throw
It's
up
all about that
them
shirt, Wood.
I'm sorry to hear that. You
all
know what I'm
about
saying? Y'all didn't even have a
McKinley.
football team. You know what I'm saying?
All about that wood.
Shout out to the Hawks in the building. you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
H-A-W.
I don't even remember.
K.
Man,
Yes.
y'all
Shout out to
lucky,
Coach
y'all
Webb,
lucky,
man.
y'all lucky
Yeah.
McKinley Middle ain't have a football team.
Man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all was too busy taking elevators to class. Y'all
Right,
didn't.
that ain't
y'all
fancy.
too busy.
Hey, but shout out to McKinley. I went there my 6th grade year. I
Hey,
ain't
no,
do what I was
hey,
supposed to do.
because shout out to Paris, you know what I'm saying? Paris Dyson, that's my girl. Shout out to Jared Allen, you know what I'm saying? That's my
That's
guy.
okay. Shout out La
You know what I'm
Bel
saying? Like all of them went to Gerald Sproul, you know what I'm saying? All of them went to McKinley Middle.
Come on.
You know what
Shout
I'm
out
saying?
the whole gang.
Shut the whole
okay?
man, but
Yeah.
they went to Westdale Elementary with me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Whoa,
I
whoa.
you know I
A
know
lot of people
them all.
But that's a lot of people from Westdale went to McKinley High School.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's all the system. It was all the
Right.
funnel.
Pipeline, like-
yeah, man. It was all the pipeline. We were told to go there essentially, but man, we definitely appreciate everyone. And to our viewers, man, please suggest questions. Please, tell us, should we dress up? Should we dress down? Today was supposed to be a dress down day, but this guy.
Man,
Yeah.
I told you my.
What is a dress down?
I told you my-
What is that?
What is the dress down?
What is a dress
I had a
down?
photo shoot.
Him
today,
looking
people.
good.
Okay.
I got an
that boy
idea
fresh.
for you when we get off cam.
Hey, man, that worked, man. But praise to the Most High. I'm going ahead and sign out. My name is Obatiye Jonqeice, joined with my co-host.
Jayflair.
Tiffany Torree.
GOOD Riddens with the Z.
Come
And
on.
we are bros and
Bros. Oh, I didn't know we was doing a pointing thing.
we sign out like that.
Blooper, bro.